So this was a big part of my childhood as a kid, so I decided to rewatch it. I did watch the fucking remake on cable, the first one, like 6 years ago. So before I did movie reviews, I don't really plan to rewatch it because I didn't find it that interesting. I also watched the sequel in theaters. It was one of the first movies I had seen in theaters in a long time. Um, it wasn't very good either. I don't really remember it that much. It had a lot of famous actors in it, like Karen Gillan and The Rock and Kevin Hart and Jack Black and Danny DeVito. It was stacked, but it wasn't great. But we're not here to talk about the remakes. We're here to talk about the original, which has Robin Williams, Kristen Dunst, and the girl from Cars. I instantly recognized her. She plays Sally from Cars. I didn't recognize the kid. Maybe he's in something. I didn't look it up though. Robin Williams' character is a bit mean in this movie. He's not terrible, but I'm surprised because Robin Williams usually plays nicer guys. Um, the only movie that I can think of, I don't remember the name of it, but he played like a bit of a creep that was taking pictures of children. I'm sure somebody's seen that movie. If this review blows up, I did have a review blow up a few months ago. Critters did pretty good. Anyways, uh, Jumanji. It's a movie about a board game, and the board game is fucking nuts. There's no other way to describe it. The movie starts off like a horror movie. There's two people getting rid of the board game, and they are like, "Oh, I hope nobody else finds it," and it hypes up the movie. I did not expect that opening to a kids movie. That was pretty cool. We get established Robin Williams' character for a little bit. We follow him for probably a good 15 minutes, maybe. We see he's getting bullied. His family life isn't the best. His dad's a bit of a piece of shit, telling him to man up and that he should face his bullies on his own, which I thought was pretty terrible. They make up at the end of the movie, which is stupid. Um, they have like a throwaway line about how he quit his job after Robin Williams' characters went missing, so I guess he cared about him. I would disagree. He was a bit of an asshole. And he even defends himself by being like, "Oh, I didn't realize that he had more than one kid bullying him." So, to fucking, I don't know, praise him, he decides to give him a scholarship or whatever to a school when this kid's like 8, 10, something. He's young. Um, yeah, that's pretty crazy. And the kid doesn't want to go there, and then he gets mad at him for not wanting to go there. Then he bumps into one of his friends when about to go outside and run away, and they decide to play the board game because they hear it making noises. And then she takes off because she gets scared of bats that come out of the board game. And he is stuck in the board game for, I believe it was 28 years. It was something like that, 28 or 26. Um, the bat is still there in 28 years later, which I thought was kind of weird. I had looked it up, and that specific bat lives maybe 20 years, so I guess that one got lucky. Um, the guy there that gets rid of the bat, or he actually doesn't get rid of the bat because he doesn't believe that it's there when he goes up and checks. And yeah, he just tells the kids his theory about Robin Williams being murdered by his own dad. He's just telling this to two children. And Kristen Dunst's character, she like making up stories about how her parents died, like, oh, they were never home and they died in a boat crash and stuff like that. The real story is that they died in a car crash and they were very present in their lives. I believe their aunt is taking care of them, but she doesn't have that big of a presence in this movie. Um, they eventually find the board game themselves and they begin to play it, and it releases Robin Williams from the game. He doesn't know how many years have passed, and we get all this different stuff. We get mosquitoes and lions and all kinds of different stuff. I thought the funniest gag of this movie was probably the guy from 1903 going to go buy a gun, and they aren't going to do it for him because of gun registry laws where there's a waiting period or whatever. And he pulls out like gold doubloons, obviously something that's going to be rare in today's age. And he fucking is like, oh, I guess you can just have the gun. Which does lead to me to have a little bit of a nitpick, because when he gets sucked back into the board, the gun disappears too, but the gun came from the current world. It wasn't like his gun that had ran out of ammo earlier. That was from his time. It was a gun that he bought in the real world, which it's just a tiny nitpick. And I also thought it was weird that they're able to carjack a car. Like, yeah, crazy shit's going on in the town, but a lady gets attacked by a mosquito, and they just take her car and drive off with it. And they do that in front of an ambulance. Sure, they cut to the ambulance already being gone, but I remember the ambulance being there. I remember it. And they just left that car unattended? That's crazy. I get it's a kid's movie, but yeah. There's one meta joke that I also thought was decently funny, where the kid is told by Robin Williams' character to go get the axe from the woodshed that his dad used to keep it there. And when he goes to go get into the woodshed, it's locked. He can't get in. So he picks up an axe that's leaning against the woodshed and starts to try and break the lock. But obviously, the axe is what he needed in the first place. And so after like maybe 2 chops at the lock, he realizes he has the axe right now. And he looks directly into the camera like, oh boy, I'm a dumbass, aren't I? And then he goes in and kills the spiders and stuff. I remember this movie being way scarier as a kid, and I can still see why it's scary to kids. The ending, however, I did not remember. It was very fucking jarring. Every bad thing that had happened pretty much just didn't happen anymore. Like, that's an alternate timeline or something, is the best I can explain it. Because not only do the kids have their parents back, the parents that died in a car crash that had nothing to do with Jumanji, Robin Williams has had a relationship with his father and mother. Even though we were taught that fucking, Robin Williams's relationship was deemed that he was murdered by his dad. But yeah, very weird ending. I guess they didn't want to make it too depressing for a kids movie, but very jarring on rewatch. I was like, what the fuck just happened? And then the movie ends with like some French people, I think that's what they were speaking. They had said speaking another language or something like that in the captions. Some French people find the Jumanji board, and it was clearly like sequel bait, but it never happened. So yeah, this movie was decent. Or maybe it wasn't sequel bait, because sometimes movies just ended like that. It was supposed to be like, oh, isn't that cool? But I feel like it was probably sequel bait. But yeah, that's Jumanji. Not as good as I remembered, but still a decent movie. Um, yeah, not bad. My next review will be Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which I did not enjoy in the slightest.